For this tutorial, you will need your granny squares already made, a crochet hook, and a yarn needle. And I will be using a contrasting color to the border here so that you can see what I'm doing throughout instead of it just blending in like you would want it to for your blanket or whatever you're making, your cowl or your scarf. Okay, to begin with, I am going to show you how to whip stitch. And all you do is take your yarn needle, insert it in from the inside of the granny square. That way you can weave in your ends on the back. Now I started in the middle stitch of the corner, so I'm going to match it with the middle stitch on the opposite one. But I'm going to work from the outside to the inside of this one. And then I'm going to go back into the same stitch that I started with. Okay, then it just has a little bar there, a little wrap around. So then you're going to come to the inside part here, and work from the outside through your stitch, from the inside to the outside of the other. So straight through basically. And we're just wrapping it around. And this one's really easy, and you can actually assemble all of your squares together and complete this. I use stitch markers to hold them together most of the time, but for a smaller project like this, I can hold it. Okay, now you see how that wraps around? Okay, and then whenever it's folded out, it would have a pretty little twist like that on both sides. That's where I am right now, so it's a little looser, but you can give it a tug and make it tighter, and I'll show you a few more times because this part is so easy. You go through this stitch, straight through like that, and pull through, and that's it. That is the whip stitch. For this seaming, we are going to do something that is like an invisible stitch, or some people may call it the mattress stitch. So start the same way. Take your yarn needle and insert in the center stitch of your granny square and pull through. Then take your yarn needle and go in from the outside to the inside of the next stitch, and then match up the stitches and go from the inside to the outside. Okay? Make sure you leave a long enough tail here so that you can use it to weave in your ends. Now take your yarn needle and go from the inside here, the outside stitch to the inside, and go straight through like that. And we're going to just work back and forth from the outside to the inside, inside to the outside. Okay? And see, when I lay it down, even with the contrasting stitch, now I try to pull it apart, you can't see it. See if I can do it a little closer here. You still can't see it unless I pull it and loosen it, but then you can just tighten it back up. So a few more times. Take your yarn needle, outside to inside, straight through, inside to outside, pull it through, and then come back outside to inside, inside to outside, and pull it through. And that will give you an invisible seam. For the last seaming of your granny squares tutorial, we will use the crochet hook. Make sure you use the same size that you used to make your granny square, but I used a 5.0 millimeter, so that's what we're going to use here. Find your middle stitch of the corner, and I start with the one that's closest to me before we started with the one on the outside. So I have a slip knot here, and I'm going to pull it through. Now with your yarn on the bottom, okay, and that will make sense here in just 1 second. Insert your hook into the matching corner stitch here, pull through both. Now insert your hook through the next stitch. Now most of the time you would keep your yarn up, but then that's why I said put your yarn on the bottom, underneath your hook. Insert into the matching stitch on the other square, and pull your yarn around to the top, and then just pull your hook all the way through both motifs, and then slip stitch there. Again, insert your hook, put your yarn below your hook on the bottom. Insert your hook into the matching one across. Pull your yarn up and pull through both stitches and through the loop on your hook. Now to show you what it would look like if you kept your yarn on top, you would get a line and it wouldn't be the same. So we're just trying to hide the yarn a little bit more and make it look nice. So insert here, put the yarn down, insert into the other square, yarn over and pull through all three spots, both stitches and the loop on your hook. And this takes a little practice, but it's not hard. Okay, whenever you get started, if you're using the same color, you will not be able to really see this, and it gives it a neat little edge, but you can see that right there. Just adds a little extra detail to your squares as you join them. When you get to the end, you will just continue on to the next square. When you're working from here to here, whenever you're finished with this part and you're working back across and you get to the corner, just chain one and just continue doing the same, working through both stitches, and it's the same process across. I hope you have enjoyed and that you'll give it a try.